ReelNotes lets you analyze podcasts from your audio library, videos stored locally on your Mac, or online video from services such as YouTube and Vimeo. For this tutorial, we'll open an existing ReelNotes project. Once you've created or opened a ReelNotes project, you'll find it here in the binder, ready to reopen whenever you need it. Click Add Note in the top right-hand corner to add your first note. You can also add notes with the keyboard shortcut Command N, or you can press M to create a marker, an empty note, which you can then double-click to edit later. Let's take a look at the Canvas toolbar. Starting on the left, you can show or hide note thumbnails to simplify the view. Next to it is the zoom slider for adjusting the size of your notes. Finally, you have the option of switching between two different layouts, side by side or stacked. For navigation, use the familiar J, K and L keys. Press L to play forwards, J to play backwards, and tap either key repeatedly to increase the playback speed. Press K to pause playback and return to normal speed. The player also includes on-screen controls for play and pause, stepping through your footage frame by frame and adjusting the playback speed. Let's look at editing a reel note. Single-click a thumbnail to select the note. Double-click the thumbnail to open the Edit Note window and write your text. Pressing the thumbnail in the Edit Note window opens the Annotations editor. Here you can draw directly onto the note's thumbnail to highlight important details in the frame. You can add color labels to a note. You can also adjust the time of a note. Double-clicking the time code opens the timeline editor. Use the arrows to adjust the time. Finally, control-clicking the reel note opens the contextual menu. From here, you can edit the note, choose from the full range of label colors, or delete it. When you're ready to share your work, open the Export menu. Create a polished PDF report, an editable HTML document, or a folder containing all your captured screenshots. You can export filtered notes. Creator formats provide options for content creation workflows, while the editing software prepares your reel notes for use in a compatible professional editing application. To explore a podcast, choose Audio Library. Search Apple Podcasts by subject, person, place or title. Select an episode, then choose Create Reel Note. And because audio has no frames of its own, you can give each note an image. Control-click the note and choose Replace Placeholder. Choose a photograph to replace it and transform your notes into a rich visual record of everything you've heard. Choose Online Video then paste a YouTube or Vimeo link, or search YouTube directly from ReelNotes. Enter your search, select a video from the results, then choose Create Project. Once open, an online video works just like any other ReelNote. And before long, it becomes a visual record of everything you want to remember. You can organize your work with collections. Open the binder, navigate to the top, and add a collection. Name it, then return to the binder. Here you can drag projects directly into a collection, or by control-clicking, use the contextual menu to do the same. Choose Timeline from the Layout menu to see your project from a completely different perspective. It is a bird's eye view of your work. As the timeline fills, you can see how your ReelNotes are distributed across the film and understand the shape and structure of your project at a glance. You can resize the window in the timeline, depending on how much space you need. Use the zoom slider to move from a complete overview to a closer look at a particular section of the timeline. At the bottom, the viewport shows which part of the project is currently visible. Drag it to navigate through the timeline while keeping your chosen level of detail. Click the timeline rail to move the playhead and the viewer. Control-click the playhead and choose Add Note at Playhead. Write your note and save it. The new ReelNote appears immediately at that point on the timeline. Select a note on the timeline rail, control-click on it. From here you can edit the note, assign a label color, or delete it. Click any ReelNote on the timeline to jump directly to it. Finally, you can navigate through your notes using the arrow keys. Sequences are created in the timeline. Move the playhead to where the sequence should begin, open the contextual menu, and select Set In Point Here. Then move to the end of your sequence and set the out point. The completed sequence appears immediately on the timeline. Drag either end to fine-tune its duration. Or open the sequence control to give it a color and a name. To review your sequences, open the Layout menu and choose Sequence. Every sequence is brought together in a visual list, complete with its title, note pane, thumbnail, color, and precise in and out points. In the Sequences layout, you can play a sequence, you can play all your sequences, jumble them, rearrange them, hide them, collapse them, and if you want, you can watch them in full screen. Quick Log is a dedicated workflow for taking notes continuously while you watch. With the film playing, press the spacebar whenever you want to capture a thought. Playback pauses and the note field is ready for you to type. Press return to save the ReelNote and resume the film. Then simply repeat the rhythm. Watch, pause, write, continue. When you want an uninterrupted view, collapse the quick log toolbar and watch the film in full screen. You can still place a marker even though you can't write a note. A small mauve dot appears in the bottom right-hand corner to confirm that the moment has been saved. To combine notes from several people, begin by choosing Enable Collaboration from the Collaboration menu. Enter your name and initials, then choose how collaborative notes should appear. Initials can be displayed beside each ReelNote, while colors can identify both the note's label and the person who created it. Open Manage Collaborators to assign each contributor to their own color. Once saved, your existing ReelNotes are marked with your initials and the chosen collaborator color. When another contributor sends back their work, choose Merge Collaboration Document and open their ReelNotes file. ReelNotes organizes the incoming notes into new, nearby, and duplicate results, allowing you to review exactly what will be included. Choose Merge Selected and the approved notes join the project, clearly distinguished by each collaborator's initials and color. Open the Settings menu to customize how the current project behaves. Start with the General panel. The Start Timecode field gives the project a starting timecode. The project file size shows how much storage the current project is using, so you can keep an eye on its size as notes, thumbnails, and other project data are added. Frame rate makes sure the project's timings match the source video. Turn on Follow mode to keep the selected ReelNote aligned with the current playback position. The Binder workspace makes the project available from the binder. Under Note List movement, choose whether the selected note remains visible or is centered automatically in the list. Display format lets you use simple minutes and seconds or an editor-style timecode with hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. Edit Note Save determines how a note is saved from the edit window. Edit Note Playback controls whether playback waits for you or resumes automatically after you save and close. Turn on hover tips to reveal helpful explanations as you move through the interface. Finally, turn on note labels to display your customized labels in the Canvas note list. Now let's look at the Labels panel. Here you can rename each color to match the way you work. A color might represent a story thread, a visual effect, a character, a department, or any other relevant category. Next, open the Transcription panel. Choose the transcription model for local video. Whisper English is recommended for English language material, while multilingual supports a wider range of languages. Choose the transcription model for podcast next. Then enable Detect Speaker if you want to identify different voices in local and podcast transcripts. Finally, turn on sound descriptions to include music and other non-dialogue audio. Next up is the Media panel. Choose whether thumbnails are stored in the project or regenerated on export. You can also set the thumbnail quality to either low, medium, or high. Under Audio Waveform, you can show a waveform for audio files and for the soundtrack of local video files. When everything is set, choose Save.
ReelNotes can turn a transcript into a precise visual way of navigating your video. Open a project with a transcript. Then select any passage to jump directly to the moment in the recording. As the video plays, the transcript follows along and keeps the corresponding words in view. Control-click a passage to open its contextual menu. Choose Create Note from Quote to turn the passage into a real note. The same menu also lets you correct the transcript text, copy a passage, or select a number of them to paste into your work. Select passages from different points in the transcript to gather related ideas together. The contextual menu keeps count of your selections and lets you copy them as a group. You can also create a single real note from the selected passages, then revise the combined quotation before saving it. To find a particular word or idea, use Search Transcript. Enter a search term and the transcript is narrowed to the matching passages. Select a result to jump directly to the moment, or use its contextual menu to turn it into another real note. Whether you're transcribing a podcast or a local file, ReelNotes can distinguish between different speakers. Open the transcript panel, then control-click any passage and choose Rename Speaker. Enter the speaker's name and click Rename. Every passage attributed to that speaker is updated through the transcript, making the conversation much easier to follow. If ReelNotes can no longer find a project's media, your notes remain safely in place. Click Relink Media, locate the original file, and choose Relink. If any thumbnails are missing from your project, open the File menu and choose Regenerate Project Thumbnails. ReelNotes rebuilds them directly from the reconnected media. ReelNotes automatically keeps backup copies of your projects, giving you a way back if something goes wrong. Open the Backups menu and choose Open Backups folder to browse the backups from all your projects. To find the newest copy of the project you're currently working on, choose Reveal Latest Backup. ReelNotes then opens the backup folder and highlights the most recent version for you. Whenever you need a little more detail, ReelNotes User Guide is always close at hand. Click User Guide in the toolbar to open it without leaving your project. Here you'll find guidance on getting started, navigating each workspace, creating and organizing ReelNotes, working with video and audio, transcription and much more. So whether you're learning a new feature or simply need a quick reminder, help is right where you need it.